Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we are joined by a special guest. KruYseN, I guess you've been doing content for a while, but introduce yourself. Let people know who you are and what you're all about.
Hello guys. First of all, thanks Hades to have me here. It's a pleasure. Since I started, I watch your videos, so I never imagined I'll be sharing a screen with you.
That's awesome, man.
It's a weird feeling. So I've been playing Raid for the past 5 years, I think. And
yeah, like similar to me,
I played in a very competitive way, like trying to be in the best clans, grinding for the best results on every content we can. Even more arena, that's my specialty right now.
Yeah.
I drive a few accounts that are actually the #1 on the rank on Live Arena, and some others spread around the top 100. I try to beat every content in a way that we can try to beat a world record or things like that.
Nice,
so,
yeah, very cool.
I'm here to try to extract the best of the game, at least the best I can.
Yeah, so what we're going to do here, we're going to basically split this video in two halves, and I'll link the second half down below in the comments, which you should go and check out once this one's finished. Basically, we're going to go through Raid Shadow Legends as a whole and almost do like a critique. Like, where could this game improve? Even if it's like small tweaks, small quality of life stuff, we're going to go through basically everything in the game and give our take on the things we would change, which I think is quite a fun video to do, actually, because, you know, there's so many elements which you think, oh, it's kind of finished, but could it be better? So let's do it. I mean, I guess we start with the Bastion screen, right? So call one out. Call out your kind of like your one that you'd love to change the most on this screen.
Okay, right now, let's start with the portal. There is something here that I absolutely think they should improve and should be there for a lot of time in the past. That is to show us our progression towards the Master System.
I knew you just call out Mercy System. Yeah, it has to be, right? Like, why not? Why not?
Exactly.
Like, what do you gain from not showing that? I mean, yeah.
I never understood why not. And they already have this system in the game because it counts toward the Master System anyway.
Yeah.
They just need to show us.
And what's interesting is, so I know you use RSL Helper, and RSL Helper's got some great tools in it. One of those things is kind of like this manual, well, it's not manual, but basically this counter towards Mercy. But when they were actually trying to drag that information from game, they were like, no, you cannot do that. And, you know, it was like a big red flag. We will not allow you to do that. And actually they changed their game code to make it more challenging to do. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Me neither.
Like, I mean, I know the Mercies are harsh anyway. Like, a lot of the Mercy counts are not very flattering for the average player. Like, if you spend tons, then maybe you'll hit Mercy now and then. But if you don't, it feels like it's almost unachievable to hit Mercy anyway on some of these things. But like you say, knowing where you are, especially when you've got these like progressive chances running. And if there is, you know, champs that you specifically want, you know, what better time than to encourage someone to maybe buy a pack if they're close to Mercy and there's a champ they want. Yeah, seems crazy to me. Is there anything else in here that you dislike or you'd like to see changed?
For example, when you have a guaranteed champion, you see the progression bar out there. This could be here forever, showing the Master System in the end.
Yeah.
And for example, BLUESTACKS is right there. You're going to know if you open 86 shards, you're going to have a legendary. Probably you're going to buy the 14 last ones to get BLUESTACKS and things like that, just for example. It would be so good for the market.
Yeah, well, something I would like to see, alongside what you're saying there, is basically this, always. But imagine if you had a pool like this available, and
all the time?
Yeah, all the time. And or maybe it rotates once a month, but once you've picked your champion, it locks, right? And you're always working towards a guaranteed. So let's say that, and that could be 500 shards. I don't even care what the number is, but imagine if you're always, you are working towards a guaranteed legendary of your choice at any time.
I like it. That gives you a sense of progression. You are always towards something.
Yeah.
And something that you want.
Something you actually want. Yeah. And again, as I say, I don't mind, honestly, if the number is big, because it's meant to be like that long-term goal. But like you say, it's something you've chosen that you want to work towards. Take for example, I don't have Nekmo Thar, even though I've pulled bazillion shards, and I'd wanted him for a long time. If I could have just put him into one of these slots, and eventually it's like, well, finally, I didn't get him through luck, but I actually managed to pick him up. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. In the whale world, back in the time when we got the empowerment in the game, I saw whales quitting the game because somehow they had everything +4, but one champion, they didn't got it.
Just couldn't get, yeah.
If it's like the account, it was programmed to never get this champion. The guy had 12 copies of the same champion, but no Duchess, and Duchess was the meta back in the time.
Yeah.
So
well,
there was a time that he said, "Okay, I'm going to quit because I get everything but Duchess, and I only wanted Duchess."
Which is understandable, right? When you're that type of player. I mean, I think what's his name? What's a PvP? I can't think what his name is now. It was a content creator. Oh man, I can't think his name. But he couldn't get Taras and Marishka.
It was Sato, Golden Sato.
Yes, yeah. And he just kind of like, damn, when they were so dominant in a game mode that you love, it's frustrating that you can't actually pick them up, right? Especially when literally everybody else is using them, and they're probably using them +4, and you can't even pick up a single copy. It's very frustrating.
The funniest part is when something happened to his account. 1 week later, the account got Taras and Mari.
Oh, did it? Oh no, that's actually harsh.
When the account then changed the nickname, it got Taras and Mari 1 week later.
That's really harsh. Oh man. Well, look, I'm going to jump into the market here. This is something I've spoken about a ton of times. This is not necessarily for the end game player, but I mean, they've hinted that this is now going to be updated. It's so crap. It's insane. It's so bad from day one. This for me, this is the worst thing about this. It's so bad from day one of playing this game. At no point should you spend the sort of silver that it needs to get any of these things. And then it should upgrade with your account. So, if I'm at this stage of the game now, I don't want to see 4-star common boots. Like, throw in some 6-star epic stuff. Throw in some of the stuff that you could get from the forge passes. Throw in, I don't know, even rare. Like at this stage of the game, why don't you throw in void rares and let people have a choice to actually pick something up which might be useful to them still?
Do you have any suggestion to how to implement a cutting to the market?
Well, I think it levels as you level. So as you progress your account, the market levels up with you. I think that you can use things like, if you think about the resources in the game, so you could have a random previous fusion token. So let's say it's like a shard of a previous fusion that you can be picking up, so that you can basically top up any old fusions any old fragments that you didn't pick up. So ultimately, it might take you again a long time to get the 100, but you're then picking up the ones that you want to pick up. I think that could be awesome. And there could be gear sets, I think, in here which are actually useful based on the level of account that you've got.
I have a suggestion for that. It's something strange, but let's split the market into sessions. Champions, we got commons, we could add rares and epics. The rating of that epics and rares would be a lot rare compared to the other, the uncommons that we already got there and the common champions. But it will be the possibility. And once per month, you get a chance of getting 5 ancient shards maybe one void shard and one sacred shard
Yeah,
out of
definitely.
the market.
Yeah.
That would be good. Random, total random. With the top number like we have for the ancient, 5 every month. A session with all the fragment fusions, like you said, but it will be only 2, and these 2, it's only 1 fragment every 10 days. So it goes random. It's 3 fragments per month. So in the long run, you will get something that may complete a fusion that you're missing 15, 20 fragments that you lost the fusion because of that. And the items. The items is the one that I taught the most how to make it useful. So I came up with the idea that when I do a lot of gear cleanses for a lot of accounts.
Right.
And when I do gear cleanses for heavy whales accounts, and I'm deleting the items, destroying them or toss them, and I'm thinking, come on, that would be an amazing item for 99% of the accounts.
Yeah.
So why not to attach unused items that people sell or destroy from the accounts with the same level as yours? For example, you're a level 100 player, and every 1 hour you get 100 items that were destroyed or sold
I see.
plus 12 for the accounts of the same level.
Yeah, you know what? So, which could be interesting. I don't know if this somehow breaks the game, but imagine if you've got a piece that's actually pretty good, but you're not going to use, and then you decide to sell it on the marketplace. So you earn the silver, and it could be that, like, this piece is good, I'm going to sell it for 1 million silver, but you're not using it, and then someone else can be like, I don't know. There's so many ways that people can exploit stuff like that, but it would, if you could get away with people not cheating in the game, it would actually be a fun system, having a marketplace like that.
And it could be random. It could be random. You do not choose who to sell.
Yeah.
It shows like 10 random people items offers. So
yeah, I kind of like that.
You can't choose a specific person to buy an item. You just see items there, and that
could be fun. Yeah, I also think they should add soulstones in here. Like, we've now got all of these different systems that they've added into the game. Like, soulstones should be part of the revamp of the marketplace, because I was talking about this on a video the other day. Like, getting a half decent soul is more powerful to an account than even like +4ing a legendary.
A lot harder.
Yeah, and really restrictive to get them. So again, even the small ones, they could go in here as, up to 10 a month, and it doesn't break the game economy as far as I can see. It just gives people that can't do as well in stuff like Hydra a chance to actually get the soul stones and start to build up their accounts.
Yeah, there's some moment in Raid that the progression of your account seems like stuck in the same place.
Yeah.
And it took so long or so much effort to get the feeling that you're progressing, that things like that would help a lot with mitigating this sensation that people have about progression at general.
Yeah.
In some level of the game, that it becomes very hard to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
For example, as you talked about souls, I'm not afraid to play. I invest a little amount of money, but when I'm going to have a +1 void legendary,
that's it.
Almost never.
Yeah, I mean,
so to have a soul 6-star for them, maybe.
Yeah, because they've actually implemented ways to get these 5-star or 4-star souls through gameplay or through events that they've run, which I think is a good implementation. A lot of them are out of the average player's hands, because a lot of them are just straight focused on basically wailing out to do it, which is a bit of a negative for me. But at least they're thinking that if there's a good fusion, some people can try and then get the soul. But yeah, I mean, just on souls while we're talking about it, what's your take on, I guess, things like the wish list, the number of soulstones you can pick up? Is there anything you would do to change up this system?
First, I would go to the mystic market and I would lower a little bit the prices of the Immortal Soulstones and Eternal Soulstones. I think they are too expensive.
Yeah.
It's not worth in a long-term progression to buy them unless you're a very huge whale.
Yeah.
If they had half of the price, I think it would be more negotiable to the common player to buy Mortal Soulstones and Eternal Soulstones to try to get something special, sacrificing the guaranteed so that they could go to the waiting it to show in the normal store. So I think the Immortal Soulstone and Eternal Soulstone are too expensive right now. If you have a long-term perspective, you wouldn't buy them. It's better to wait with these coins to have the champion on the store and buy it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you want to gamble.
Yeah, well,
a little bit.
Definitely. And I think a few things on this area as well. Like, I think it should refresh more frequently, probably double the frequency that it refreshes right now. I also think there should be a spend 300 essence or, I don't know, 20 million silver. Like, there should be just an alternative currency to unlock stuff. Because the biggest frustration I have with this is I can't make it happen. Let's say there's something I really want that pops up. I cannot, even if I spent right now $1,000, I would not be able to actually make it happen. And that's a flaw in the system, honestly, when you've got this kind of like very slow roll of heroes popping up randomly on a day-to-day basis. Like, it's actually a terrible system, because let's say this was my 6-star Trunda that I'm waiting for. And
you're waiting for her?
Yeah, I've got 5-star. I'm after that 6-star. Let's say it was. There's zero way, even with money, that I can make that happen right now. That's a massive flaw in their system. Like, it's a huge flaw. So I do think they should either allow like a lock. So it's like, okay, damn, I want this one. I can't afford it right now, but if I could lock this, I would do everything in my power over the next week or 2 weeks to make that happen, right?
I think a lock, it's more attached to the game's logic right now. To have one lock between each of the legendaries, epics, and rares would be interesting. And the other thing I think it needs to change. It's right now it's totally random. You can get Queen Eva there, and it refreshes. Queen Eva stays there. And she can appears for you 5 times in a month, or once every 5 months.
Yeah.
So if I was able to negotiate with Plarium, I would suggest make it a actual rotation. So the 4 champions that appeared right now, they won't appear in the next session until you get every champion to roll. So in a 3 months spectrum of time, with the amount of champions you got right now, you got any champion that you want on the list.
See him, yeah.
So it's a 3 months wait for any champion, and if you can lock one of them, maybe you can have 4 champions in the month that you want to.
Yeah.
So
it would be good, actually. Just talking on that, it would be good if anyone on your wish list like has a higher chance to roll in this same area. Like, the wish list also applies to this would be pretty nice as well.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
because I have the impression it's the opposite.
Yeah,
whenever I take a champion from the witches,
definitely. Yes.
It appeared there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's keep things moving. So, talked about a few things here. Let's go into perhaps, in fact, something you spoke about before we started recording: leaderboards and achievement, right? So they've done a little bit recently around achievement and stuff, and obviously they're thinking about it, but I'd say it's very lackluster right now. You spoke about potentially having an area over here, which is like the town hall, or basically like somewhere that you could see.
Yeah, like a leaderboard.
Yeah, like who won Plat Arena over the last 20 rotations. Who's winning Live Arena? I've got no idea, because I'm not in the mix of it day to day. And because there's no reward for that type of thing, I'm not even that fussed to try. Who's the best in Tag Team Arena? I've got zero idea. I've got no idea, and no one really cares because there's no achievement or reward or anything for being up there. So
you don't even have how to know who is the top one on tag team.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna see the number, but you want to gonna see the player unless you face him on your list.
Sure.
For the live arena, you can see the rank.
Yeah, you can see that. For
the classic arena,
but
you
again,
can see the
for
rank.
live arena, there's no reward for finishing. Let's say there was a seasonal basis on live arena. Maybe we should talk about it quick, actually, because I think arena points are important. Like the people that want to be active in arena, they do it because they're competitive people.
Yeah.
And if there's no kind of like reward for being competitive, it really waters down the whole point of it, right?
For example, I am actually the driver of the number one.
Right, okay.
And for a lot of periods of time, there was nobody competing with us. So we started pushing less. Right now, there is a lot of competition to reach the number one spot. There is at least 5 to 10 players trying to get that consistently.
Okay.
So we push a little bit harder. But that's just for us to have fun. There is nothing as a reward. For example, if we drag this battle for 1 year, 2 years in the future, there is only be our resources spending and nothing less than that, but we have fun with the arena. That's the most important thing. But if, for example, for each mark or important mark out there, we had a frame or an avatar or something special, because these players out there already got everything.
Yeah, they don't need like a new champion or something like that, do they? It's bragging rights and cosmetics, right? It's just
they want unique things.
Yeah, and I'm just curious here, like how active are you to get to this sort of level of play? Like how many battles are you doing a day in live arena?
On Dogma Rod's account, I've been playing it since day one, so at least one session per day. I do it since day one. So we are out there doing at least one session per day. Yeah. Because I work 8 hours a day, and I have my own account to drive and things like that. I can only do one live arena per day. But right now there are persons doing 4 times a day, which is really insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
If I had time, I would do it too, but I don't.
I mean, what would you change? Like, you're obviously massively into live arena. What would you change about the system, or do you think actually they've already nailed it in a good way?
I think live arena is the most healthy way to keep the game alive for the most amount of time, because into a bigger perspective of game, if you bring friendly fights to live arena, a friend list, and you can fight a friend. Yeah. You bring to the game the competitive scenario. You can launch tournaments. You can launch tournaments with a specific champions to choose, like only epics, only legendaries, only mythicals, only rares, only red affinity, only blue affinity. You can make that happen between the players just by adding friendly fights. Another thing that I think it would be good, it's to make it not open 4 times a day. Let it open all the day.
Yes, that's my biggest thing by a mile. Like, I am inactive in this game mode because I'll be like, I've just finished working on some sort of call or something. I do a lot, obviously, with Godforge right now. And like, so it might be like right now, okay, I've got 20 minutes where I could do a couple of fights. And I look and it's like, it's shut for 3 hours. And then when it reopens, I either have forgotten to even go back to it, or I'm back into work stuff. So the times for me suck, honestly. I'm just like not able to be active, or generally I've shut down for the day. I've done all the raid stuff. I've shut down when it comes active again. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to go back in just to do my live arena. So for me, it becomes a real grind and doubled on to that is that if I'm inactive for a few days, I feel like I've just lost all of the points I gained from my couple of active sessions. And then in my head, I switch off from it. I'm like, well, I can't even be bothered to try and grind it back up because I'm just like treading water.
Yeah. If it was open all day and you have the amount of points restricted for every player, I think the competition would be more fair because it won't be about how many time you can spend, how many money you can spend to get more coin refresh, but it will be a matter of how good you are with the amount of battles you can do.
Yeah.
For example, if you have 20 battles a day that you can do with opponents going to the rank, the best you get from these 20 battles is what defines who is the best overall. Not how many battles you can do, how many refreshes you can do
definitely.
on your coins and things like that. I think that would be so healthy for the game in the future, and the tournaments people could arrange between the players. Imagine.
That'd be so
Let's
cool.
do a content creator tournament.
Oh yeah, that'd be very cool.
Let's each other with the friend list.
Yeah.
Let's set rules. Only epics, only rares, only red affinity, only voids.
Yeah.
And things like that. It would be so fun to do it. Let's face our clan members. Okay, let's make fun with each other. Because every time we my clan, for example, we are almost everyone in the top 100 or close to it. So we face each other daily, and every time we face each other, it's so fun because we go to the Discord. They make fun with each other and play around.
It does actually. It makes a huge difference. I was thinking back to when it came out, and I was live streaming some live arena stuff, and now and then I would go up against either someone that was in the stream, like watching, or someone like a YST, and instantly, like the level of fun went from like here right up. Instantly, you're like, yes, this is like fun. You're taking down someone that you know, or you're losing. You're like, no, like the whole.
Furious.
Yeah, that's it. The whole kind of feel of it is different, and I agree. Like the tournament side of it would be awesome for the game. Like
you could test teams. You could test teams that you don't have this right now in the game.
Yeah.
I made a really cool build for my champion. Let's face each other. Let me test it.
Yeah.
Try it. For now, right now, if you want to test any build you made, you have to climb to the top of the Platinum Classic Arena, make your friend clap to the top of Platinum Arena, and refresh until you see each other.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to see a friend and make it test. And while you're doing it, you have to change your defense, make your friend refresh the page for him to test whatever you want.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
You could just add a friend and make a battle between friends, and that would be so good to the game.
It would be so healthy for the game, yeah.
Yeah, we could have championships. Imagine Raid Championship is the introduction to Raid in the competitive scenario. Our rivals in the gacha universe already do it.
No, I like that a lot. That would be a massive difference. I guess we should touch on tag team. Do you enjoy tag team arena?
No. I think I'm one of the most excited player about arena, but tag team is not one of the things that I like because I don't see a sense of progression in it.
No.
Like if there was an avatar, a leaderboard, a trophy, anything like this, it would make some competitive came out of the game mode.
Yeah, I cannot believe this still looks like this after. I mean, how many years since they launched this game mode? I
3 years.
I cannot believe that this still looks like this shop. There's so much opportunity for the Bazaar to have. Literally, it could be like this section's for glyphs, this section's for gear, this section's for champion fragments, this section's for shards. Like, there's so much opportunity and stuff that's in this game, and this is the most dated shop in the game. Like, it's just as bad, honestly, for me. Not quite as bad, but pretty close to the marketplace for being just
there is a little bit more relevance because of the sacred charm, the rare charms.
But then for the average player, getting into gold is really tough to do. So, gating it behind. I don't understand why they gate it behind level. Just the point score, the gold bar thing is enough. But there's never been something which I've understood. Like, if someone just wants to grind for the Sacred Shard and they're a newer player, why not let them do that? Like, it doesn't make sense to me that
it will take
so
much time, so long amount of time to get the points in the lower levels of the arena. That's already
the challenge. Yeah, that's already the thing. I think this needs like a full revamp, and then there has to be a reason to want to win it. There has to be something. Why do you ever have a competitive game mode where there's no reason to try and be the winner? It blows my mind. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
And it's one of the few areas of the game that you can face an opponent that you know who is the opponent. You're choosing to face it. You can see his champion. If that happens, you could have a competition over the 3 arenas. You could have people focused. Okay, I'm going to play tag team. I'm going to be the best on tag team. I'm going to be the best on live arena. I'm going to be the best on classic arena. You can choose one and focus your energy in it. Not energy from the game, but your personal energy.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm just going to call out one more, and then we can flip over to your side. So let's call out an actual game mode here, and let's deep dive a bit campaign. So obviously, early on in the game, it's meant as an area of progression. It's meant to, give you, it's obviously reasonably fun, and you feel like you're kind of getting somewhere. You get some rewards, and then you get to a point in the game which is not that far in. Maybe call it 3 months. I don't know, like maybe
right
3 months before you beat Nightmare or something. And then the only reason you come back here, well, there's a couple of things. You come back here because of this quest, which, for anyone who is a late game player, it's the worst quest in the game by a long way. Literally, you get to this point, you're like, oh crap, I need to do another 400 odd battles of campaign just so I can earn this thing, so I can unlock my sacred. So that's silly. But also, the other reason you would come back here is pretty much for champion training tournaments, right? So what's your view on this?
I think if they keep the idea of letting this be only a farm field that it's right now, allow us to put more champions, and only give the experience points to the champion that needs to level up. Because, for example, I did 10,000 battles. I lost 25% of this 10,000 battles experience just the armor. Yeah, and that's over the time. That's massive. I could put 1/3 of my champions into level 60 just by using that experience.
Yeah,
it's so much a waste of resources, and not even that. The in-game moot battle system, you could allow, for example, if you go edit Quill, you can only place 20 champions.
Yeah.
Bro, this should be unlimited.
Yeah.
We have 30-party programs like Ourself Helper that allow us to do it, to set the level, to set the champions, to set the rarity, to set everything.
Yeah.
That should be in-game. That should be in-game.
Because I guess the game was never built to try and make you just put a few levels into people. Like, the game was never constructed for that to be the best option, but obviously it is. In terms of trying to do these champion training tournaments, leveling someone to max is not generally what you want to be doing. It's like, I just want to throw, the 3 stars to about level 15. So I don't actually use RSL Helper, and sometimes I'm like, why am I not using it when one of these big champion training things pops up? Because like I'm just watching, I'm like replay, like, and then I'll use this. If I need to actually level people to max, I'll just be like, right, okay, get those going, fine. But then then I need to come in and actually like manage it. And for the people that are playing on like phones, which is well over 50% of the player base, there's not even like an option of an RSL helper. So,
yeah,
you know, for that type of player, there's like this mass inefficiency of playing the game. I can't see them changing this, honestly, because it's not the way the game has been constructed. But then basically what it means is like, yeah, campaign is kind of just a waste. I mean, would you like to see a new campaign, like a new story mode, a whole new campaign to run through? Like, it's not for me, it's not a bad feature to just create something completely brand new. As like a new story element, like a new content piece.
You can add at least 5 more difficulties there to be hard.
Yeah, but not necessarily going through the same levels again. Like, just build a new... It's not hard, actually, for them at all, with all the resources they've got in this game, to build a whole new campaign area that levels through. Like,
yeah, you can even launch multiplayer campaign. You know, so hard boss, like universal bosses. You choose one champion, you go there, and you make a team with other players. So you face hard challenges with each player using one champion or 2 champions or whatever it is the number of champions to try to beat a really hard boss.
Yeah.
So you need communication between players and one reason to set a friend list. So you can communicate in-game, not only outside of the game. There is almost no way to communicate with friends in-game.
No, definitely not. No.
Nobody uses the chat because it's really slow. It's hard to find. But there is multiple...
it's useless,
There's multiple countries out there that you keep... Every time you're logging into the game, it changes you from chat to chat. And I don't even know the reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bots in the chat.
The bots are the worst thing for me. So... When I first started playing, I actually did use the chat. My clan and cluster, you know, we went to a specific channel, and that's where we hung out, and that was before I did content and stuff. And it was like, that's how I got into the clan I was in. Yeah, definitely, yeah. It's you know, and that was enjoyable because it felt like we had a bit of a community going, you know, of players in this kind of group, and I don't know, somehow with the emergence of all the bots, now really, if you're not chatting on Discord, you're probably not really chatting. That's the problem.
Siege, for example, you need communication actively. You need active communication between the clan to win a hard battle on Siege.
Yeah.
And without it in game, it's harder to make it happen. You know, it takes a lot of effort from the leadership of a serious clan to put everyone together. And it's even harder because if you set up, let's go everybody to the Discord. Out of 30 players, there are 10,
best
20.
10. Yeah. Maybe everyone will go there once, but in terms of people being active, 5 to 10 probably from a full clan.
Yeah.
You know,
it would be hard. It would be hard to set up.
Yeah.
If it was an in-game mechanism for that would solve that problem.
Yeah.
As everybody's playing.
Definitely. Well, look, KruYseN, let's continue this chat over on your channel. So I'm going to link KruYseN's channel down below with the link to the follow-up video and a link for him to sub to his channel. Make sure you go and check that out. Make sure you sub to his channel as well. Dude, it's been really, really fun, actually, talking through some of this stuff. And yeah, I guess let's keep it going.
Let's go.